Hello and welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health. Every week on the program, we provide you with insightful information about NAFDAC's activities aimed at protecting the health of Nigerians. I am your host, Tosin Adebayo. Today on the program, we bring you the legislative visit to NAFDAC, Lagos and Abuja to see firsthand the hard strides the agency is attaining under the visionary leadership of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. We kick off in Lagos, where the House Committee on COVID-19 is inspecting the vaccine laboratory currently under construction, which was made possible through COVID-19 fund.
Remaining are still offices of ICT
conference room. Okay. This is the conference room.
Yeah, looks like it.
The oversight team also visited the newly renovated and upgraded investigation and enforcement warehouse.
When we seize products, we bring them here. Sometimes we seize products immediately to destroy. Sometimes we seize products that are under litigation. So until the case is finished in court, we cannot destroy. But some that abandonment, they ran away, we destroy them, and we do destruction like 3 times a year from this site. All over the country, we also do destruction based on zones.
Sure.
We are getting ready for the northeast zone now. After that, will be southwest. All the states in the zones we bring, all our officers, we bring whatever they have seized to a site, and then we destroy them together.
Yeah.
But this is the national, we call it headquarters of our warehouse. Part of this is not yet completed. We are buying forklifts because of moving of things. So that's part of what we have yet to procure. And that's that we shared. Because when we are going for level 4, they want to find out how we control the market. The product comes through the ports, and we use the pit cams software that we showed to bring them in to make sure that they are okay. We got the statutory fee and whatnot. That is after approval. After we have done the approval, laboratory testing, they come in, and the companies then go through their own distribution chain. The traceability is going to come in handy at the point. We're going to follow them from the port to wherever they're going to go in the country. And that is what the pit comes and traceability software does. However, when they are in the market, sometimes you may have a product in your name. Somebody will clone it to counterfeit your product.
Sure.
And such products we bring them here, counterfeited products. Sometimes it may be that they are expired. We seize them, we go and mop them out, and they bring them here. The market control is one of our functions for maturity level 3 and 4 that we are aiming at now, maturity level 4. They want to see how well you are controlling your products when they get into the country, and if there is a need to destroy to the point of destruction. That is market control. So they are coming for maturity level 4. They're going to see, they're going to make sure that we have good inventory system, digitized inventory system, how we can move things in and out. That is part of what this money is being used for. So the money went into renovating this particular structure.
The committee also visited NAFDAC office block, also under construction at the NACO terminal of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The committee was also shown the animals facility for the biologicals lab, also under construction, nearing completion. Currently, the NAFDAC animal facility is domiciled at the biologicals laboratory in Yaba. When the new facility is complete, it will be a modern state-of-the-art facility that will house animals to be used in various testing and research.
Speaking on behalf of the COVID-19 committee, I must say that I'm more than impressed with what the NAFDAC management has done with the funds released to them, both from the funds on impacting the control of COVID and the Economic Sustainability Committee. We have seen with our eyes how they have leveraged on latest technology to upgrade the organization to a standard that is next to none in Africa. And I think they need to be commended. We have seen the warehouse. We have now seen the vaccine laboratory, which is under construction. They have gone very far. The standard of the construction is good. We have also seen the equipments are waiting to be installed in the laboratories. And I have to say kudos to the DG and her team for having good value for money as far as the COVID-19 funds are concerned in NAFDAC. I want to say that the country should use the example of NAFDAC. In fact, other agencies can come to NAFDAC and learn from how they have leveraged on IT technology to move their organization forward, so that everywhere, our standard can be uplifted without people even knowing. In fact, we're all surprised at how much they have done. While discussing in the hotel, we were speaking with her office in Abuja, and she told us even in Maiduguri or Kano, we can be talking together. They are properly networked, and all these capacities were done with the COVID funds. So I say kudos to the management team, and we urge you to do more.
In terms of the different types of animals that we use, depending on the type of model, we call it animal model, there are some tests that you will be able to test in mice and you will get good results or expected results. There are some that you will test in rabbits. So based on literature, what others have done in the past, you will determine which animal model you're going to use. So that is why we have mice, rabbits, guinea pigs.
All of these efforts are geared towards ensuring that drugs imported or produced in Nigeria meets the highest standards of quality. Now that Nigeria Drug Regulatory Body, NAFDAC, has attained level 3 of WHO Global Benchmarking tool, and Nigeria can produce its vaccines, the agency is firmly positioned to make globally accepted declarations as to their efficacy and safety.
The funding for the COVID-19 projects that we are seeing now is a wake-up call for the country that happened during the beginning of the pandemic. The health sector was neglected, but this government responded through the National Assembly committees, in particular the COVID-19 committee, that are the members that are here today, to ensure that the health sector is strengthened. And I'm going to use NAFDAC as an example. If the regulatory agency is not strengthened, the industry will not be strengthened. We have African Free Trade Agreement coming up, or it's already here with us now. There will be a lot of competition. If our laboratory is not strengthened, we will not be able to compete. For vaccines, we are hoping that the vaccine facility from the private public will soon happen. But if the regulatory agency is not strong, we can make vaccines that will destroy our own people. But with our regulatory agency, with NAFDAC now being very strong, maturity level 3, Nigeria can make our own vaccines, but we can assure the populace that there is quality in whatever is being manufactured because of our own strength. So everything that the Honorable Chair has said about the impact this COVID-19 fund has made should resonate well with the whole country. That if we put the right people in the right places, then the vision of the government can be realized. Whatever approvals are being given at FEC, you can actually touch such. And this is what has happened today. And I want to thank the COVID-19 committee, the Healthcare Services Committee that have committed. The 9th Assembly has committed to ensure that NAFDAC as a regulatory agency is being known internationally and is happening. So I want to say thank you very much, sir, and to the members of the committee, thank you so much.
We'll take a short break now. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, you're watching NAFDAC and Your Health. NAFDAC, under the leadership of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has engaged in several developmental activities, from construction of new laboratories to acquisition of much-needed vehicles, work tools, and even ICT.
In terms of infrastructural development of an agency, it is all about strategy. It is all about planning. When we are planning our budget, first of all, we have an idea of what we realized the previous year and what we may realize the following year, and what are the priorities. So the infrastructure is one of our priorities. IT is one of our priorities. Therefore, we say, okay, what are the states in terms of infrastructure? What are the states that need to have their buildings almost immediately? Having been there or having heard of what is going on there. In terms of budgeting and so on, it is prioritizing our needs, and then we just follow the lead in terms of what is most important at a particular time. But again, I emphasize that we've been very prudent with our spending, and we have seen the result.
In Abuja, the Chairman Committee on Health Services, Honorable Tanko Sununu, led a team of the committee members on an oversight visit to NAFDAC to review how the agency has so far implemented the funds appropriated from 2021 till date, and also to assess what more the agency requires in order to make certain that it continues to deliver on its mandate of safeguarding the health of the nation. The chairman of the committee highlighted a few of legislative achievements of the committee with regards to NAFDAC and its operations.
As we resume from places we are, not only that, you also need to know that over the years, we try as committee to ensure that more fund is made available to NAFDAC, and that has become so assuring that the benchmark ranking of NAFDAC in the last assessment by the World Health Organization, the NAFDAC is currently level 3 in global benchmark ranking, and we are working very hard to ensure that by their next visit, we will be level 4. And by that, it means that the country is not only going to be recognized in Africa, but whatever is certified by NAFDAC will have a global listing. I also know that NAFDAC is currently working together with GS1 to ensure that our tracking and tracing of our drug and drug food products meet almost international standard. With this, I want to thank all the honorable members. It's suffice to know that these right now members of our recess, but for the fact that we think we need to know what is on ground so that we can facilitate the budget debate that will soon be commenced as soon as it's laid by the president. Members volunteer on their own to come and join the committee so that we can go around to have what we are going to work with when we come back. I want to thank you most immensely as the chairman of this committee.
Professor Adeyeye, in her response, thanked the Health Services Committee for being a strong supporter of NAFDAC goals and ideals.
The past year has been very tasking and rewarding for NAFDAC. Having attained the WHO Global Benchmarking Maturity Level 3, NAFDAC is the third agency in Africa to attain Maturity Level 3 in functions that affect medicines and imported vaccines. Only about 30% of medicine regulatory agencies in the world have attained this benchmark level. Again, I want to thank
this committee for being the wind behind our wings as far as that is concerned. As we move toward maturity level 4 and what is called World Listed Authority category, that will enable our pharmaceutical manufacturers to register and trade their products faster in other countries through what is called collaborative registration. Resources such as staff and staff incentives will be needed.
Professor Adeyeye also highlighted some of the achievements the agency has attained with the support of the National Assembly, as well as a number of things the agency still look to the relevant committees to make happen.
I would like to seek the continued support of the National Assembly in ensuring that NAFDAC staff strength is increased and the staff are provided reasonable allowances. With our performance over the last 3-4 years, I believe our staff deserve some compensation. It is through a lot of training, a lot of discipline that we are where we are. They are working very, very hard, and I believe that this committee can help us to ensure that happens. This is critical. Staff strength and staff incentives are critical because of the role the agency plays in ensuring that the medicines and the foods we take are safe for the population, and that the population, of course, is kept healthier, and because of the goals to attain ML4 and WLA that will enhance global trade, increase the nation's GDP, and reduce unemployment. Without ML4 and WLA, our manufacturers will still be struggling, they will not be able to sell globally. So what this committee is doing is very impactful in myriad of ways.
The agency has invested heavily in vehicles to enhance its regulatory functions, both with the country and at its borders, to ensure that falsified and substandard medicines don't find their way into the country. This has tremendously enhanced capacity and improved investigation and enforcement outcomes of the agency.
Prior to 2018, many times staff will be going for inspection and the companies will send vehicles. That is anathema. It shouldn't happen in a regulatory agency because there is a tendency to want to return favor for that company that sends you vehicle, and that is weakening the regulatory system. Therefore, one of our priorities in terms of infrastructure is getting vehicles. In terms of acquisition of vehicles, each state should have at least 3 vehicles. We have about 6 border posts, one for each border post. Then we have the ports. So if you have two for each port, you are talking of over 150 or over 120 vehicles for NAFDAC. Before I joined NAFDAC, I think the newest vehicles were purchased in 2014. Newest, and there were few. Most of them were purchased in 2008. And when you go to different places with the roads, the way the roads are, the vehicles, get worn out. So we hardly had a state with one good vehicle. So we have to put money aside from our user fees to get vehicles for our staff. And we've been able to. We've been able to get 40 right now, and another 50 or 40 utility vehicles are going through processing, because that is the way to safeguard the nation's health. Because if some people are making bad medicines or hawking around, you're not going to go on Okada to start running after them. You've got to use vehicles. So about 60% of our activities are field work. So vehicles is a huge infrastructure for NAFDAC.
As a modern regulatory agency, the crucial role information and communication technology plays is making processes seamless, transparent, and optimal. And Professor Adeyeye has ensured that the agency's use of technology is top-notch.
The ICT infrastructure is extremely important. Extremely important. There is no regulatory agency that can function without robust ICT. Again, it is part of our auditing in order to ensure that we are a strong or matured regulatory agency. Why is ICT so important? I just mentioned Zoom. We installed Zoom, or we started using Zoom in 2018, April. When you have offices in 36 states, it makes sense that in the IT world, you try to connect. Before I came, there wasn't any connection between states or zones, but because of the fact that there are so many things going on at the zonal and state level, we cannot be asking them to come every time for one training or the other. So we saw it extremely important to connect. Now all of us are connected. When we want to have top management meetings, everybody joins from the 36 states. Drug approval meetings, everybody joins. That is the IT world. A regulatory agency is not an island globally, cannot be an island. We have meetings with other regulatory agencies. We use reliance in terms of collaboration, sharing information, and so on. And it is not every time you jump and travel. So we have to have IT in place to make sure that we can meet with them. There are so many things that our IT is doing. Talking of accounting, we've got to use a system of accounting that is transparent. Procurement, we've got to use a procurement system that is visible, that people can participate in. We are working towards that now. Even administration. Now we have our leave portal, where if you are going on leave, you go on the leave portal to indicate when, and then I will approve for upper management, and then the directors can approve for their own staff. So IT makes things easier to manage, and that is a big infrastructure that we are spending money on. 3 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, no director had a laptop. Now we are acquiring laptops, desktops. Each staff is supposed to have a desktop or a laptop. Bear in mind we are 2,200 staff. So if 60-70% can have laptops, that is going to be a great thing.
That's all we have time for on the program this week. Make it a date for another insightful edition next week. Same time, same station. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food product peddlers, our doors are always open. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email, reforms@nafdac.gov.ng, or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506
or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Importing, producing, distributing, and selling fake drugs and cosmetics, adulterated food, and so on are criminal activities that destroy lives. Join the fight against these heinous crimes by reporting any suspicious activity in your area to NAFDAC. Let's join hands to safeguard the health of this nation. See you next week. Stay safe.